Hey, it's John. Welcome back to the show. And welcome back to the latest edition of the Live Cut. My guest joining us this evening, doubt know him from his appearances on the Contrarians, as well as his appearances on Grant's Rock Warehouse, as well as an appearance with me earlier this year. This is my very good friend, Mr. Nick S Squire. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, John, thanks for having me. It's great. Love it.
I do too. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is an album that Nick and I talked about in conversations as something to do here for the live cut. And this is definitely something that hasn't been heard as much as a lot of the live albums that have been discussed on this show. This is Robin Trower's For Earth Below, the 50th anniversary edition. This came out on June 27 of this year on Rhino Records. It was originally, For Earth Below was originally on Chrysalis Records. But what we're going to talk about here is we got the 4-disc version. And one of these discs on here, the 4th disc, is a live show from the Shrine Auditorium at Expo Hall in Los Angeles, California, March 16, 1975, from the For Earth Below tour, which ironically, in April of 1976, the Robin Trower Band would put this out from that tour. This is Robin Trower Live. Now, this album would be a gold album, one of 5 consecutive gold albums for the Robin Trower Band. And this hit number 10 on the Billboard Top 200 charts in 1976.
Wow, 10. All right, cool.
It hit number 10. This
Wow.
was released as a single LP. What we have, and Nick has it here right there. There's the band. There's Bill Lorden on drums, James Dewar on bass guitar and lead vocals, who I like to call Paul Rogers with a bass guitar, and the incomparable Robin Trower on lead guitar. We have the same band playing on this 4th disc, and this is the set list, but this is the whole set list from that night. The performance from Robin Trower Live was actually from early February 1975, and I believe that was in Stockholm, Sweden.
Hmm.
And that was
Okay.
one of the first shows on the tour.
Hmm.
And this performance that we're going to discuss today, it was actually 6 weeks later.
Right.
The 7 tracks, though, we have 13 tracks, 79 minutes of Trower power, bliss. If you are a Robin Trower fan, must own.
Must own, right.
Cannot emphasize that enough. This is a wonderful collection. We have the original mix from 75. We have the 2025 stereo mix. They're on separate discs. On disc 3, we have outtakes and rarities, as well as a few live performances from BBC Live in Concert and from BBC Radio Top of the Pops. And then disc 4 is the wonderful live album we're going to talk about today.
And
So,
from
I'm sorry.
some of the outtakes are also from their rehearsals to record for Earth Below too. So there's some
Excellent.
really weird, deep tracks in there. So kind of cool.
No doubt about it. So, Nick, when did you first become acquainted with Robin Trower's music?
Well, way back in the day, he got on my radar when I was in high school around 86 or 7 because a good friend of mine and I were sort of hard rock and metal heads. And my friend's brother was into Trower. He was around our age, but he was into Trower. So I knew about him. And then Trower had around 87 or into 88, like a song or two on classic rock radio on Rock 107, Scranton Wilkes-Barre. And so he got some airplay with the later band with Davey Pattison and all. And it was sort of like mid-tempo bluesy rock song. So he got on my radar. But then when I got into college, let's say 88 or so, I'd go to the local used record store and just from, listening and talking to the owner of the store and kind of knowing he was out there in the ether and looking at these great album covers, I started to buy his albums on the cheap for like $3. And of course, you start with Bridge of Sighs, and I was immediately hooked. Immediately. I was like, who is this guy? So I've been a fan since around, let's say, 88 or so. And from there, just dug deeper and deeper and deeper and became a bigger and bigger fan. Finally got to see him. And I think I told you this. He opened for Peter Frampton
Oh,
at the
yes.
Tower Theater in Philly in around 94. And that's the first time I saw him. And what a great bill that was. But he was just fantastic. He had a three-piece at that point. And then I just started seeing him almost every tour he would play in through Pennsylvania that he was around on. And so I saw him every few years for the last, since 94, so 30 years. So that's how I got into Trower, and I consider myself a fairly big fan. Like you, there's a venue in the Poconos, Pennsylvania called Penn's Peak, and he really fills the place almost to capacity. He's a guy that when I first started seeing him opening for Frampton, and I saw him then at the Chestnut Cabaret in Philly, good crowd, but it's a small club. Saw him at a club in Lancaster, PA, like only half filled. Like he
Okay.
was playing in small places, but he got to the point where he rebuilt his career and he gets back to Penn's Peak and the place is packed and his band is smoking. They're just so good. And it's sort of, for me, it's like that. You puts a smile on your face because it's like, well, good music triumphs every once in a while, People will find it if you just keep working hard enough and the word gets out there. And I think through the magic for him of social media and word spreads. I mean, he's an older artist, legacy artist, but he's a guy that people are like guitar players like, you got to see this guy. And so I think, which is great, even though it's a crowded playing field now for music nowadays, I think that the social media has probably helped him because he always has just strong crowds and people love him. And here he is, 80 years old. I saw him back in February. I know you saw him, and he still sounds phenomenal. So, yeah. So that's my rough history. Got a chance to meet him once. I know you met him too, right?
They did.
And got a matter of fact, of all the albums, I got this one signed. So
Nice.
the album we're talking about. So you know, he was
So
hanging out in an alley behind the venue in a SUV. So I queued up with others and exchanged some words. That's what I told you. I asked him. Not many people knew it. I said, "Hey, how's the album going with Jack Bruce?" And his exact quote in that very gentlemanly way was, "Oh, lovely,
yeah,
lovely," which was like perfect. It was perfect. And he was very appreciative of the fact that I knew that he was recording again with Jack Bruce, and he was smiled, and it was like a genuine thing. So, but yeah, he seems like such a nice guy too. So that's another thing. Like, he seems like a really good guy. But anyway, and here he is now too. Think about it. He's late in life, and he's like incredibly prolific, releasing albums every few years. They're high quality. It's just like you want to root for the guy too.
absolutely. And yeah, I agree with you completely. He is very, very down to earth when I met him. Let me
Yeah.
just take
Yeah,
that's
you have. I know you have. Oh, that's right. There it is. Yeah, go get it because that thing is incredible. Yeah, that's awesome. I knew you had something really cool that I was like, holy crap, how did he get that?
well, I got this when I saw Robin
At
in
Penn's Peak, right?
2014 at Penn's Peak.
That's amazing.
And that's all the albums that are around the perimeter of the poster there. And
Yeah,
he
right.
signed it there right between the Robin Trower and the
Yeah,
um Bridge of Sighs there. So he
right.
signed this. I paid $5 for this.
That's absurd.
$5. I bought a t-shirt, which I've since worn out, and that
Yeah.
was only 30. And I think, oh, there you go. Wait, is that Roots and Branches?
No, no, no. This is the what lies beneath.
Oh, okay. The one I had was Roots and
Yeah,
Branches.
right, right.
And it was a similar color too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, but he was very down there, kind of quiet,
Hmm.
but very, you know, he was very, very gracious.
Hmm.
But yeah, this was the first time I got this And the second time I saw him was the last time, and that was in June 2025, also
Hmm.
at Penn Speak. And he had just turned 80, I believe, at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
And he did a 90-minute show, and it was a great show. He
Hmm.
is just as strong a guitar player as he's ever been.
Oh,
His
he's great. Yeah. Yeah.
band was very, very tight.
Hmm.
And this is something Nick and I have talked about in conversation. Don't expect the greatest hits show from Robin Trower. You're going to get a lot of stuff from Bridge of Sighs, but then
Hmm.
after that, he doesn't care. He's just going to play what he wants,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he plays a lot of newer songs. But the new
Yeah, you're not going to walk away though disappointed. Oh, he didn't play
correct.
that. He's going to play what he needs to play, but he'll definitely filter in some of the new stuff that he's touring on. And what I like that he does, he always seems to dust off a chestnut from an old album that he hasn't played in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always for me like a highlight. Like I remember like, he did one like Islands. I'm like, what is he playing? It was an instrumental. The one that I almost lost my mind on years ago, he dusted off for a couple tours, but the first time I heard Twice Removed from Yesterday, I was like, "What the hell?" It's such great. So he's always a very interesting artist to see. You know,
Yes.
you're not going to get bombs and makeup and lasers and stuff, but that's okay. You know,
No, he just brings it. His fans are very, very loyal.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
Good, but good stuff. And his newer albums, and I have a couple of them here. These are very, very strong albums. And one of these albums, Nick and I talked about on the Contrarians, and I'll put a link to that in the description. This is No More Worlds to Conquer from
yeah.
2022. And I bought this at the show because he did 3 songs off of this. When
Right.
I saw him in June 2025, I'm like, oh, these are great.
Yeah.
So I picked this up. And this is the album that Nick and I reviewed with Grant Arthur.
Hmm.
This is Joyful Sky. This is the
Right.
album that Robin did with Sari Shore. This
Hmm.
is very, very good as well.
Excellent. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. You know what's cool about him too? He does the artwork now on his albums and he's
That's
he's a
true.
good artist and it's very interesting stuff. Like I would like to have that artwork hanging on my wall. You know, so it's very his album covers are always not almost always really interesting. There's a few in there that were sort of like clinkers, like the one when I first got into him, that album cover wasn't too good. Take What You Need was not a good album cover, but
Okay.
for the most part, his album covers are really interesting. So it's part of the art that he creates. So
Exactly. When I got into Robin Trower now, I'm not as big a fan as you, Nick.
mhm.
Which you already know. I heard him on Rock 107, WEZX, Scranton, Pennsylvania, home of rock and roll, still locally owned and operated.
You should
And
get a job there or something.
I
They come
know,
up like every single episode.
hey, I gotta promote my local businesses. That's how it goes. And you
Yeah.
know how I always talk about Gallery of Sound.
Gallery of Sound.
So, but
Yep.
but back in the day, it seemed like they only played the 2 biggest songs from this album, which is Bridge of Sighs. And this is the biggest, the most popular
Yeah.
Robin Trower album. Although a lot of his albums are great, but this is the biggest seller. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
So they'd always play the title track and especially To Rolling Stone.
Yep.
The other time I heard about Robin Trower on Rock 107 was, if my memory serves me correctly, I believe he was on Rockline. You remember
Oh, yeah.
Rockline?
Oh, yeah. 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 Yeah.
And he was promoting an album from 1990 called In the Line of Fire.
I heard that. I was into him at that point, and that's a great album. I remember I heard that episode of Rockline. He was great.
Yeah, I never bought the album. I have a lot of the early albums, but there's a lot in that mid period with Davey Pattison. I
Hmm.
got to get more educated on. Definitely pick those up.
That album has been described, and it's funny because I didn't really know the entire canon at that point, but
Mhm.
it's been described as more of his like pop or mainstream rock album. So there were songs were like crafted for radio, which is fair to say, as opposed to like I Know My Lane. It's this blues stuff, hard rock. That stuff was more accessible to a radio audience. But it's a good album, and he does a a Babies cover on that album.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the band, I believe, at least the recording band, featured John Regan. I
Okay.
know we were recording on a sad day. Ace Frehley passed,
Yes.
but John Regan, Ace's longtime bass player, I believe, was on that album. So that's a good album. You definitely gotta check it out. I mean, it's not probably not considered his top shelf or elite, but it's a really cool album. It's different.
Okay, so I got to ask this question since you kind of brought it up. My understanding, and again, I'm not as acquainted with his music as you are. I always thought like Passion from '87 was kind of in that vein too, that it was more more like the times, I should say. Do
Yeah.
you know that album? And would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think that's a weaker album.
Okay,
I think songwriting, sound, not the best by him. I think he was still sorting it out. And I
okay,
think Take What You Need, he figured out sort of a formula to get on radio, which made sense.
gotcha.
And then what's the name of the album that we were just talking about? In the Line of Fire.
Line of
That
Fire.
was sort of, and then he's on the cover, which was unique. He's usually
Mhm.
not on the cover. So that was a furtherance of where he was trying to go with it. And then he went silent for a while and he didn't do anything until that really cool album cover. What's the name of it? Something about the world with his new band. Then he got a new band,
Okay.
the trio with the can't think of their names, Livy and the other guy. Anyway, but yeah. And that sort of marked a return to like sort of more of his roots, more like Bridge of Sighs kind of stuff with different vocalists. But I like it. And here's the thing, in that period with those albums, Take What You Need and Line of Fire and Passion, you still had Davey Pattison on vocals, and he could see the phone book as far as I'm concerned. Jimmy Dore not available, but Davey Pattison and Jimmy Dore, like it's 1A, 1B, you know. Um, no slouch, Mr. Pattison. So, yeah.
And that's saying a lot because about Davey Pattison because Jimmy Dore is amazing, and I think
Oh
he's
yeah.
one of the great white blues singers that you very rarely hear about these days.
Yeah, when we talk about this album, I'll let you know what I think because yeah, he's just absurd.
Absolutely. So let me just grab the disc here. This is the disc that's in the box set that we're going to discuss today. So
Mhm.
this is live at the Shrine Auditorium and Expo Hall, Los Angeles, California, March 1975. This album, this disc is part of this set, and Nick and I have been talking about this off air. We should have got this in 1976
Oh yeah, incredible,
because
incredible.
when this came out, now keep in mind, when this came out, Robin Trower had already had two top 10 albums that had already gone gold. Why didn't we get a double? This was the time when you started getting the double live albums. In September of 75, we got Kiss Alive 1. In January or February of 76, we got Peter Frampton
Hampton,
Comes
yep.
Alive. Now, keep in mind, those bands were not selling too many records before they got that double live album. Not long after the Robin Trower Live came out, we would get Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band Live Bullet.
Yeah, right,
And he had a lot of albums out. He had a hit from several years earlier. He was getting some waves on FM radio, but he didn't sell a ton of albums until Live Bullet.
right.
Here we have a star with two
Hmm.
top 10 albums. This would be the third one, Robin Trower Live. Why wasn't this a double?
Yeah, because you see the, I don't know, maybe it was a festival or whatever. He's playing big venues, so I mean, he's on the touring circuit, either co-headlining or headlining. I don't know the history. I got to learn it. There's some books I have. There's not too much on Trower. I should pull that book out actually. I wanted to look at it before we start today. I didn't have a chance, but
Surely.
Chrysalis did a really good job finding artists. Like some of my most favorite artists that in all the bands and artists I listen to are in Chrysalis, but they seem to like never been able to push a lot of them over. Whether it was Rory Gallagher,
Right.
Robin Trower, Frankie Miller, and you go on and on and on and on. Okay, well they had Blondie, right? I mean, there's some things they had, but it just seemed like something to miss there. Great locating talent, get him out on the road, but shitty putting them over into superstardom. That's sort of like what I've noticed, you know?
Well, you
Oh,
said
UFO. Like,
UFO. You mentioned UFO. Here's another one. I mean, this Billy Idol.
yeah, all
He
right.
was a star,
Yeah,
but he never had the 5, 10 million selling album.
yeah,
Even though he had that look,
right.
he had hits, but it never he was a star, but he never went to superstar.
So going back to your question, I have it'd be a guess, and we should look into it. It'd just be interesting between the two of us, maybe and others. I have a funny feeling it was like a budget chrysalis thing
Okay.
that they wanted an album out fast. They wanted to capitalize on something, but they weren't going to give them a double album because with the double album comes the extra cost, the extra, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, they probably use the excuse it's the mid 70s. There's inflation, there's a gas crunch, there's this, there's
That's
that. Who
true.
knows? But I think they screwed up big time. They should have released the full concert. And now what we're finding out years later, because of technology, talking on Grant's Rock Warehouse, and we mentioned off air, the Mott the Hoople Live. Now we have the 30th anniversary, and that single album, it just pales in comparison to the full show. So what it teaches me is that when you're getting that single album, I saw your program with the Sensational Alex Harvey band. If you had the
Yes,
full show, that may have pushed them over the top. I have a feeling that was even though that was distributed by Atlantic, I think weren't they on a smaller label?
it works.
So I could see them like not having the juice to do it, right?
Mm.
And he wasn't really big in the States, but like if that album had been released as a double album with the full show, who knows what would happen to that band? So I'm dubious now when I see it's a single live album because you're not going to get the full effect. And I think if you're going to do it right, you got to release a live album where you can get the entire show or almost the entire show. So that's the lesson learned.
I agree with you completely. And on this album, we got this is from the Fur Below tour. We got 3 tracks from Twice Removed from Yesterday. We have 6 tracks from
Bridge of Sighs.
Bridge of Sighs. We got all the tracks, but About to Begin and In This Place from that album. And we got 4 tracks from
The
For
new
Earth
one.
Below on here.
Yeah.
And this is excellent.
Yeah.
The only thing, and this is something that Nick and I talked about. Well, I said this to Nick. I don't think he agrees with me, but
Mhm.
I think this has a little fuller bomb end on the bass guitar compared to the album we're discussing right now.
What I liked about this, we'll get right to it, and maybe we'll talk about general. This is one of my general comments. I felt that the bass, though, was so clear
It's
and
clear.
occupied such a cool spot in the mix, albeit with the trio, that matter of fact, in some points his bass sounded like it could have been my G3 with it's such a cool growl to it. I just love the sound. I listened to the official live in preparation for this, but I wasn't listening for the bass. I heard it in the car. I didn't have the headphones on, so I should go back and listen. But on its own, not in comparison, I was I'm guessing that technology helped create the bass sound on this now. That I'll bet that the original recording was not as clear and pristine, and I'll bet that modern recording and
Recording.
digital stuff has probably helped clean this up. So, which I have some comments on, but yeah, I mean, I'll say this: I'm a bass guy. I'm very satisfied with what I'm hearing on that album. I really enjoy it. And matter of fact, it just goes to also reinforce that Jimmy Dore, who's a top Mount Rushmore vocalist, could also really play the friggin' bass. And since we're bringing it up now, he could have half-assed it live. He did not half-ass it. He played very aggressively, played all the parts that are on the album, and did a great job. Like I didn't hear any mistakes. I just heard some really mammoth playing on him, and of course he's playing with one of the best drummers around too, with Bill Lorden. But um, I just really was impressed with his playing. So that to me is one of the highlights in a general way that why people need any person that's a musician needs to hear this and needs to buy it. That's how good it is.
You mentioned Bill Lorden, and he came in on this album. I believe it was Reg Isidore that was on the first 2.
Yeah.
he has more of a funk feel in his drumming.
Yeah,
And I mean, he's at this point, he's coming out of Sly and the Family Stone on the Small Talk album.
right.
So I love the funk feel that he's bringing into these songs that were originally on Twice Removed from Yesterday and Bridge
Yeah.
of Sighs.
Besides Dewar's vocals and bass, the thing that jumped out at me immediately was, holy shit, Bill Lorden is an absolute beast. And
Yes,
not in a John Bonham way. He's not muscly player,
right.
but his snare rolls, he's just so on it. He's creates such a groove. He changed ever so slightly some of those songs for the better that
Yes,
like you could just tell Trower's feeding off it. It helps Dewar out. The guy is a metronome in the best of ways. They can swing, they can groove. And the one thing I've always thought about with Trower is like, okay, well, he's got this sort of like vibe that he was like this Hendrixy hard rock guy, etc. But his band at its core, that's an R&B band. And he loves R&B, and this is an R&B band. So like this band as a trio, to me, this performance reinforces the idea that they should be spoken about with the same kind of reverence and respect that other power trios are spoken about, whether it's Cream or Hendrix. Yes, I'm saying them, or Mountain, or at
uh,
times Rory Gallagher, whoever it is.
mhm.
It's that good, and this tells you that it's that good, and it's funny because those little subtle changes sometimes maybe a musician or as a fan you're hearing to go, why is he change? It's all for the better. It's so interesting to me. It's not just, I mean, they're faithful renditions of what's on the albums, but it's also different things mixed in and filtered in that makes it a very interesting listening experience.
I agree with you on that. And they're going with faithful renditions from the songs that were new at that point,
Yeah,
the ones that were on For Earth Below.
yeah,
Some of the tracks from the earlier albums are magnificent. I Can't Wait Much Longer
yeah.
is phenomenal on here. And for the biggest reason, I think, is because of Jimmy Dewar's vocal performance.
It's phenomenal. Now, I will say, because I did read his vocal on the live track on the live album of that song is really spectacular too. It's
It's
really good.
it's
My,
very good, but this it's like it's very heart wrenching. I mean, he sounds like he's in pain when he's singing this. And I
if
mean,
if I was a kid, if I was a young person trying to make my way as a vocalist and learn how to sing, that's the guy. I mean, Jimmy Doer's the guy I'd be listening to because he does it effortlessly. It seems like he can take those, change the melodies up every night, and he can do it effortlessly because he just knows it. It sort of like lives in him. And that's a guy too. Like I'm even a fan of his work with Stone the Crows. So he's
okay,
singing with Maggie Bow. Like what the hell? Like the Scottish, Janis Joplin and him were fronting a band. I'm like the two of them together are just ridiculous. So this guy is such a incredible. It's those Scottish guys. I think the best vocalists are probably pound for pound from Scotland, but he just does such a good job. So yeah. So for me, it's weird. You think, oh well, it's Trower. It's got to stand out. No, for me, when I'm listening to this as a fan, it's the bass, it's the vocals, and the drumming really stands out on this thing, and it's why you should hear it. It's just sublime. So
and speaking of, we're talking about how all three of these guys are really bringing it the whole so much better than the sum of its
yeah,
parts.
yeah,
I mean, so much greater.
yeah,
But we're Robin's on the marquee, but
right.
we're talking about versions that are that I think are better than the original,
Hmm.
or versions that were even stronger on this album,
Yeah,
on the live disc on this, than Robin Trower Live Daydream.
right.
2 minutes longer for
Yeah,
starters.
yeah.
Not a note wasted. The
Nope,
solo on here from
nope.
Robin, and he's going to all different things on here.
Oh, it's phenomenal. And that song, he still plays it to this day. He probably played it on every show. So
Yes.
it's one of his better known tracks. It's always a very the song when he plays it, and then on this version too, in this 75 performance, he conjures up a mood. It creates a mood. Uh, paints a picture, with the music, which is great. I've always wondered though, I know we're jumping around now. I always wondered why don't they just call the frickin' song Spellbound? They
Yeah,
say Spellbound, Spellbound, Spellbound. I always thought the song was called Spellbound. And oh
so
wait
did
a minute,
I first.
Daydream. Yeah, it's Spellbound. Because he
He
says
says
Spellbound.
daydream once.
Spellbound to me is a more interesting word. You know what I mean? I think
True.
it would add more track like Daydream. Okay. But Spellbound is like it's a cool kind of term. But we're talking about the album in generalities, and I know we're all talking about songs, but I don't know if you picked up on this. I was listening to it in the car. I'm like, am I hearing what I think I'm hearing? And I finally put on the headphones. And maybe this is one of the reasons why this album, what this performance was not released. There's an insane amount of guitar hum that's in this, and there is some guitar feedback or mic feedback. So it's funny, like as a fan, I don't care. I'm fine with it. But there's certain tracks I'm like, God damn that those amps are humming, which to me is kind of cool. They're humming. But I wonder if with modern recording techniques, if they were able to kind of quiet that down without losing some of the fidelity. Whereas this may have been a mess after they listened to it in the mid 70s because there is a lot of hum. And I know that some performers really don't like that. It's never really bothered me. Matter of fact, I noted in one of the songs when we get to it, it's like you can really hear it towards the end. It's like, holy Christ. So if you listen to this, if you really want to get into it, of course, you don't want to turn people off, but it's there. So it's almost like white noise throughout. So, but I like it doesn't bother me, but I was trying to figure out it's such a great dynamic performance. Why wasn't this released? And that might have been one of the reasons. I'm curious to find out more about this performance and maybe that was one of the reasons. But anyway,
That makes sense to me because I really noticed it on Day of the Eagle.
yeah, okay.
I
Right off the bat.
I noticed it right off the bat. I heard the feedback, but it was
Yeah.
just, but not enough to ruin the experience for me.
No, 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 no. And again, some people might. I'm trying. Oh, the end of Two Rolling Stone.
Okay.
There's a ton of amp hum, which is kind of cool. When Robin was famous, I mean, he went out with a lot of Marshalls. There was a point. I don't know if he was doing it then. I know I've read this somewhere. Maybe you've heard about it. He got really whacked out. It's almost like a Spinal Tap kind of thing. But he started putting up these big metal screens or frames to keep out radio signals. So
I didn't know that actually.
he had these big massive metal frames near his amps that at some point in the 70s to keep out the RF, the radio frequencies. But I don't know if it was at this time, but I had heard about it. I'd love to see a picture of what those things look like. I read about it in a magazine or book somewhere, but so yeah, he was he was all whacked out with that.
Nice. And I like that we got some songs on here as part of the set, which are more deeper cuts
Yes.
on Work Below, particularly Fine Day. I always think of Fine Day as a deep cut, but it
Matter
is.
of fact, it's funny you're gonna say that because to me it's like an album highlight because I like that they played some new stuff and that's one of them and the song comes off really well too. So I agree that's another kind of cool little Easter egg for this album that he's got the certain hits he's got to play and there's the certain things that end up on the live album, but there's some of these other deeper tracks that they stand up really well live, I think.
Absolutely. Going to be more suspicious. It's still it's wicked on For Earth Below. I mean, it's
Yes.
short. It just comes in, just kicks your ass, and it ends with that fade out. But
Yep.
it's a very aggressive track, even on the original. But here, it's on fire.
It
And
is. It's funny, and I got to listen to the original again, but I'm listening to the performance. I'm like, it might even be a click slower, which is fine for me because I find it powerful. It's got such a groove. It's got that Hendrixy thing going, but it's not too fast. The one thing he does, like some songs play a little faster, like Day of the Eagle, but if an artist sometimes plays songs too fast, and I've been in those situations with bands too, I check out. I think you lose sometimes the sexiness, the groove, the power of a song. And so I like the fact that in that song in particular, they stayed within the confines of where I think it's the most effective. So
speaking of songs that are a little faster than the original, I think Alfie is a little faster than the original.
a little faster, yeah.
And
Day of the Eagle flies.
oh, that flies. That's true. And, here's another thing about Robin Trower. When I've seen him play Day of the Eagle live and some other performances, he ends it different. He doesn't always end it the same.
Right.
Like like sometimes he ends it like the fade out, like you
Yeah,
have on the original Bridge of
yeah,
Sighs, and sometimes he ends it with this cacophony of noise like he does on here.
yeah.
And
Well,
and
yeah, go
Reggie,
ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but he did
Yeah, go
that
ahead.
back in June when I saw him at Penn Speak too.
Oh, okay, yeah. The thing about, well, we're getting into the tracks, but that leads the album off, and man, you immediately, it feels like a rocket ship taking off. That thing just rips. Or, the airplane, you know this, doing a rollout down the runway.
Mhm.
Down the runway going to take off.
Exactly.
Anyway, but uh that thing is, and Lorden's drum work, there's some like snare rolls in there, just holy mackerel. It's just really a punishing version. One of the best I've ever heard of that song. So it's good. So if you're a fan, you're gonna really like it. It's really good. It kind of, they're playing full throttle, and Dewar messes with the melody a little bit too in the best of ways, so it's all good stuff. Like, when that getting ready for this thing, I'm like listening to 'em, and I'm like, well, this is really standing out compared to all the different versions I heard of the song. So it's good. It's really good. And
Absolutely.
how about this though too? His biggest song ever then is the second track.
Yeah.
He knocks off Bridge of Sighs, track number two, before he even says hello to the crowd. I was like, okay.
Yep. Yeah,
Which
that's
is
right. Yeah, he's
interesting,
not
which is
waiting till
good.
like, even when you see him now,
Mhm.
Bridge of Sighs is, well, he still does the 1-2 of Day of the Eagle and the Bridge of
Yeah,
Sighs,
yeah.
but
But it's usually in the middle. It's usually in the middle of
I
the
was just
show,
gonna say it's in the middle of the set.
right? But the second track, the
Second
second,
track is, yeah, that's a little crazy
and oh,
considering
by the way,
big
and right,
version.
the Day of the Eagle, like that you're going at 150 miles an hour, and then the Bridge of Sighs. So just like the album, it's just fine. But no, it's kind of cool that way too. So it's interesting. You know,
I think the version of Bridge of Sighs is even slower than the original on here.
I think it is. Although, it's funny. Like, I've heard so many versions of it. I think I've probably heard Bridge of Sighs. I don't want to exaggerate, but I think it's fair to say I've heard that song more than 500 times in the
Right.
last 30 some years, including seeing him live at least 10 times. It's really slow live now, though. Matter of fact,
Yes.
and I think he tunes down maybe like a
Yes.
whole step. So there's a different sound to it. It's heavier now too, but it's slower and heavier. So yeah, I think this might be a tad slower, but it's a good one. I mean, there's a lot of energy there. So,
What are some of the other songs on here that really came out
well,
for you?
the song to me that I think, but and there's some highlights, but I really thought that little bit of sympathy was extraordinary on here.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that I was listening to it in the car, and it got to like that slower, quieter part where it's the guitar and the drums, guitar and the drums, guitar and the drums, and it's going to go back into the song. And I've heard the song 500 times.
Right.
I sat in the car going, "What's going to happen next?" I was so interested to hear. It wasn't just like, "Oh, I've heard this a million times. I know what's happening." There was subtle little differences and changes, whether it was the drums, whether it was the way Robin was playing or Dewar or whatever. And I was just fixated on hearing the song. So I sat in my car, and then of course it kicked back into the song, and it was real heavy, and it's a real powerful re-emergence back into that groove. And I just thought that song really smoked, and it's worth the price of admission. So,
No doubt about it. And interestingly, this was the end of the main set,
okay.
and that's usually, I think he's been doing that for decades because
Oh
both
yeah,
times I saw him, he ended the main set with a little bit
yeah,
of sympathy.
yeah, and it's always a real crowd pleaser. I mean, that's one of those tracks too. Like, the fans really appreciate it. That's sort of like, if you're a name the band Kiss or Rush. It's a song that you're always going to hear on the show, and it gets just as much as response as the tracks that the masses know. So
Exactly.
this to Kiss might be Deuce or something, that it's like
Right.
everybody. It's a heavy song. So yeah, matter of fact, when it kicks back into that riff and they're all on it, like I got chills, man. It was really good. So anyway,
Recording on here, though, I mean, you saying that with modern recording techniques now and what they could do
mhm.
with these shows that may have had some
Yeah.
issues sound wise, the recording
Right.
on here is wonderful.
Yeah,
I mean, you hear all the instruments very, very clearly.
really well. Yeah, you get some crowd noise in there too at points, so you know it's a live. Feels live, which is kind of cool.
And
So
of course, James,
yeah,
masterful lead vocals.
yeah. And for you mentioned so highlights, that would be one. I do like the For Earth Below tracks. I think Alethea was a good one, although I've heard it again. I thought Confess in Midnight was a really cool song to hear. It's heavy, but it's got a groove. What a riff. There's something in there that I've heard that song a billion times, and there's something he does he solos and then plays a part of the riff. Then he solos and plays a part of the riff. I'm going to borrow that. I'm sending that to my bandmate, and that is something to copy, which he's probably copied off a million guys and blues guys, but it kind of hit me today. Today I was listening to it and go, "Holy, that was really cool." So it's like, and you listen to it around minute 3, and it's also in the towards the end of the song, but it's like solo line riff, which is great in a 3 piece. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
he's what he does is he's still adding to the rhythm and it beefs it up as opposed to just wildly soloing with just bass behind you. It was really cool.
I'm wondering if that track might be Confessing Midnight because I noticed that.
It
Because
is. Well, that's the one I said. Confess
oh,
at
okay,
Midnight.
I didn't know if you. I wasn't sure if I heard you say
Yeah,
that.
confess. I'm sorry. Confess at Midnight's the track. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, and that was a highlight for me too. So it's like, oh, it's a little lesser known song, and it was a really cool thing I heard in there. So that to me was fun.
that was something that really jumped out at me. Just listening to that to just listen to this today because they did the verse and then he's thrown in this little thing,
Yeah.
this great little guitar solo, and then they go into the second verse, which they just bang it out
Yeah.
on the original For Earth Below.
How about you? I mean, what stands out to you other than what we talked about? Any other tracks?
I think Lady Love is excellent on here, but I mean, I love the version of Lady Love on the live album as well. But again, they all really play very, very well on that, particularly James's voice. I'm going James Jimmy here, but that I think was strong. I loved Althea. Althea's got a little bit of I think it's a little bit faster. It's got a longer drum solo
Yeah. Yeah.
compared to
Yeah.
version on live.
Yeah.
I think that is absolutely wicked. We've mentioned nearly every song here. Of course, Rock Me Baby's awesome on here too.
Rock Me Baby, it's funny, and it might be it's me. It's me. It's not the track. The track's very good. That's the one where it's 7 minutes. Okay, it's pretty basic. It's the most blues number that he does on the album.
Absolutely.
So if I was gonna say, well, are there any lesser tracks? There's nothing on here I don't like. I like everything. That might be the one like of the 13 tracks, that might be number 13 for me.
Okay.
But others may not find that. I also thought that "Fool Me," which I love, it was a curious ender. Like that to me is more
Yeah.
like a song I'd put like maybe number 2, and I'd put maybe something else at the end too. So, but it was just a curious one for me to end the set with that as an encore. But I can't complain about it.
It's almost like, yeah, okay, we don't have much time here at the end. They're telling us we got to cut off at 4 minutes. Oh, let's
Yeah.
just bang out Fool Me really fast.
Exactly, which may or may not, make a recording or something. So, anything else jump out at you?
I mean, we've pretty much covered just about all the songs. Two Rolling Stone, I think, is
Oh, it's good. Yeah,
that's excellent on here.
that's another one. I've heard it
Getting
500
stretched
times.
out.
He's beating the freaking wall like a rented mule, man. He's like he's ripping. That band is so friggin' tight, and that's another one. And damn it, Dewar doesn't back off on the bass because and he's singing. He's doing everything he should be doing, and Lorden is driving that thing with snare rolls. Like it is worth the price. That's another one worth the price of admission. So besides a little bit of sympathy, you think, oh, I've heard Two Rolling Stone a million times. No, this is it's a really good version.
And
Really
it's
good.
and that's the thing. I mean, that's a very busy bass line in that song.
Oh yeah.
And he's very
Yeah.
busy and he's firing out that vocal over that.
Yeah, exactly.
Ain't missing anything.
That's the only song that I've ever had the privilege of actually playing live. And we did it with two guitar players and a vocalist. So, and I was not singing, of course. But Yeah, that song. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you think it might be an easy song. It's a lot trickier than you think it is. So, matter of fact, I'll say this without mentioning names. You hear this album, they're a great, they're such a great power trio. There are a lot of bands that cannot pull this music off. A lot of bands, a lot of people, a lot of guitar players could not pull this off. A lot of drummers could not pull this off. This is how good this band was, and of course the vocals. But I was trying to think of myself, who could sound like this? There are not many people out there, not many.
Yeah, they
So
think the thing is, I mean, all these songs are strong. I mean, maybe Rock Me Baby is more of a
yeah,
traditional blues, like a little faster blues than a traditional blues, but they play with so much fire.
well, that's exactly it, right? So it's heavy, it's fire, it's groove. Not many guitar players or bands can pull this off. Just can't.
No
Just
doubt
can't.
about it.
I'll try. I'll say I'll do a sweeping thing. I don't think there's any. There might be one or two. I don't think there's any heavy metal band that could sound like this if they tried. Like, oh, I'm going to try to sound like Trower. They can't do it. Cannot do it. Sorry.
Well, or we would have heard it by now.
No, right, right. They don't have the groove, the sexiness, and and again, there's a lot of muscle here too. I mean, Bill Lorden swings. Yes, he's a jazz guy, but there's a lot of muscle here. Oh wait, where who'd he play for? Oh wait, Sly and the Family Stone.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then I was reading the liner notes, and we were talking off air. He says it in his book. Allegedly, he was offered the gig to play with Hendrix at Woodstock. He turned it down. I don't know why,
Easy.
which is ridiculous. But I mean, the guy was a great drummer. It's still around. I
Yep.
follow him on Facebook, actually.
Nice.
Yeah, he and his wife have a lot of health problems, but he seems like a really nice guy, and he's got devoted people there. So good for him. I'd like to. I would hope that he can get out there and play, but whatever.
Oh, that's awesome that he's still
Yeah,
active in social media. That
yeah.
is great. Okay, here's a question for you. If
Mhm.
there was one song you'd like to add to this,
Yes,
what would you add?
I would add For Earth Below, the title track.
Thought about that too.
Title track. And again, you know what? Maybe because it's too slow and you got Bridge of Sighs and you got to do Daydream. I think that that's a great song. And it says it in here. He was not a big fan of this album. He doesn't feel it's one of his better works. I don't know why he feels that way. I think it's a great album. Um, I know he's dusted that song off in recent years, and it sounds great live. I would like to hear that. Uh, it's funny you mentioned that because I was thinking about it. I probably would have also maybe because I'm such a fan of the song. Going back to the first album, the title track, Twice Removed from Yesterday. I just love that song. It's got this mix of psychedelia and almost space rock, and it grooves, and I love it live. And that would be sort of another one too. But the two title tracks. How about you?
Okay, now I was thinking about For Earth Below, but I had two more that I would add. And you're talking about Twice Removed from Yesterday. I can't stand it.
Oh, that's a great song. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wicked.
Yeah, that's a
Oh
great
my
one.
God, that would kill on here.
Yeah.
My favorite song by Robin Trower is A Tale Untold.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's your favorite song?
by Robin Trower.
Oh my God, that's a chestnut.
I love that song. That was, yeah, well, we hung out at Dugan's Pub on St. Patrick's Day,
Yeah,
2023. They had that Touch Tunes jukebox in there.
yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
was like one of my five most played songs on
Oh,
top.
no kidding. No
Yep.
kidding.
Yeah, I love
That's
that.
awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love that. But I mean, it's funny with my favorite album, it kind of it bounces between Bridge of Sighs and For It Below. I probably listen to For It Below more these days.
Me too.
Yeah, so
It's funny you say that because Trower's come up in conversation. Twice Removed is a very underappreciated album. It's very, very good. I know it's his first, so you don't want to say, oh, his best was his first, but it's very good. It's excellent.
it
It's
is.
got a certain groove to it and looseness that I kind of enjoy. So,
And I have, well, here's how I found, like I had a passing interest in them for a long time, and I
yeah, yeah.
talked about when I first got into them. But I bought this original album series in 2013. It
Nice.
has the first four
Yeah.
studio albums and Robin Trower live. And this is what really got me into them. I did a review on it on this on
Mm.
Amazon. I think not long after that was when I saw Robin Trower in 2014. And I
Hmm.
remember reviewing this, and what we found out later about these collections, they only made so many of them.
Hmm.
So I got this for less than $20 on it.
Wow. Yeah.
And then I wrote a review, and then I see this comment about a year or two later, because I would always get some emails saying somebody commented on one of your
Yeah,
reviews.
right. Yeah, sure.
And some guy wrote, well, I should have bought this when you reviewed it, bud, because now I'm going to look for it and it's $200.
Oh, no kidding. Holy shit. Wow.
Yeah,
Really?
they don't make it's weird. Like whenever you see these and they're so cheap, get them while they're available because they may not be around much longer. That same thing happened with because right around this time when I bought the Trower original album series, I bought the Rory Gallagher one.
Oh, nice.
And that was what really got me into Gallagher because I didn't know anything by Rory Gallagher until like 2013.
The whoever owned Chrysalis, and I think, oh, God knows if it's over there, they released every single Chrysalis album cheap. And I know I picked that up in a like a box set, not at some point. So I have that as a backup almost to all my other. There you go. There you
Yeah.
go. There it is.
Yeah, 1973 to 83.
Yeah, including like the non-band albums with Jack Bruce.
Yep.
So
We got BLT and Truce on there. And back at
and
the
you,
last one.
yeah, and it's funny. Like you know what album I probably listen to the most now recently of that era,
Mhm.
either Victims of the Future and or Back It Up. I love
Okay.
Back It Up.
Back it up. I gotta get more into. There's
You
some stuff.
got to.
There's Islands that's on Back It Up.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
He has a song on that album that is really good. It's called "The River."
Right. That's track two.
Yeah, and it's a really the lyrics are great. It's a great, really good performance by Jimmy Stewart. Really, really just special. It's a great song, uplifting song. So I like it. It's a cool
I
one.
don't have as much experience with that album as I do all the other ones on here.
Right. Yeah, no, give that one some time because I think that
Sure.
that is another like sort of dusty gem that deserves more attention.
I like Caravan to Midnight a lot too, except for that King of the Dance when they try to do a disco song.
Yeah, that those two albums in a row, In City Dreams and Caravan, are not my favorites.
Okay.
I probably like Caravan more than In City Dreams.
Okay.
Probably, probably. But anyway,
Gotcha.
you can't go wrong. It's not like they're bad,
It
you
just
know.
was interesting, Nick, because when this came out, I tried to get it when it came out, and my buddy Jack, who I've talked about, we both tried to get it at the same time. And he it we tried to get on Amazon and it was so it you couldn't get it. Like if
Yeah.
you tried to order in advance, you just didn't get it. You kept waiting and waiting. So I looked to see if it was at Gallery of Sound. It was $50. I'm like, that seems a little steep, right? So I went down to this record store called Record Revival at the Quakertown Farm Market.
Wow. Wow.
And they had it for 33.
Oh, no kidding.
And I'm like, because I
Yeah,
would always
right.
use CDs down there, but they'd have some new ones.
Yeah.
And this one was like calling my name. I'm like,
Yeah.
33 bucks.
Yeah. No, that's absurd. You
And
got to
not
get it.
long after it came out, I was like, oh my God. So, oh yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that's
excellent.
awesome. Now, hey, now we mentioned it, but like in passing, how does the new one compare, in your opinion, with this? You mentioned the bass.
That's the only criticism I have of the new one.
Okay.
Outside of that, I think this is the superior release.
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, because it's 13 tracks. What is this missing? What is this missing? It's a single album. What is this missing? This is insane.
And
Please.
well, it's missing. Well, it's missing the second. Well, it's missing the second record. First of all,
No. Yeah. No. Of all the songs of Robin Trower, the
okay.
song
So
that's going to be in his
it's missing.
obituary.
Okay, so it's missing the 1-2 of Day of the Eagle. It's a Bridge of Size.
Okay, well, Bridge of Size. I mean, you can't have a Robin Trower live album without Bridge of Size.
Right. You can't have
It's
yeah,
missing. How could that not be on here? Like, how can that be? I mean,
right.
and again, Day of the Eagle, yes, that would be number two. But this without Bridge of Size, this is
Yeah.
silly. I also my
Weird.
feeling on it is here's what I feel, and I don't see a producer listed on here. I find this a very polite production, and compared
Okay.
to this,
Yeah.
I know the band is playing hot. I know they are, but this brings it out. So whether it's the
Yes,
modern recording techniques, whether it's the performance itself, whatever, this is fine. This this is filet mignon. This is lunch meat. Okay, comparatively. But again, there is no
comparative.
bad Robin Trower album. It's just that if you're a new fan or thinking about beefing up a collection, this is superior to this to me. Besides the fact that it's missing half the concert. But yes,
And this is this is an excellent collection because we
yeah,
have the original and mix with the remaster and the stereo mix.
yeah,
Some of these songs in the stereo mix are like 30 seconds longer
yeah, right.
than you had on the original. Disagree with the outtakes and rarities. You got some kick-ass
Yeah.
live stuff on that and an instrumental jam that's nearly 18 minutes.
And I don't remember spending a lot of money for this, as I
It
recall.
was
So
45.
I think I was gonna say 40, but 45 sounds right.
I
Okay.
think 40, I think it's retailed at like 45, but
Yeah.
you never know because this may come out, this may go down in price because sometimes some of these box set collections,
Yeah.
they don't they don't always stay at that price. Over
Right.
if they don't quite hit the sales that they think they're going to hit, they will drop in price over time.
Yeah. And for those who like the technology, it is on Spotify, so you can check it out
It's
there. So
all on
if you
Spotify.
don't, if you want to check it out and go write the CD4, because that last couple days as I'm in the car, that's how I'm listening to it, not with the CD. Because if I put the CD in the car, I'll scratch it and lose it. Plus, my car's not playing CDs at the moment, so
Oh,
I have to rely on different technology.
oh joy.
Yeah, so
I hate that.
what I can do is I can cast the phone. It's an old car, but I have this device where I can cast the phone into the thing and it plays on a certain frequency on the FM band.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
yeah, but no, yeah, yeah. So for me, I mean, yeah, this is fine, but I mean, it's largely unnecessary. If you're gonna choose, this is the one to get, right?
I agree with you completely. How would you rank the well, how would let's ask this. How would you rank this collection and how would you rank the live disc?
All right. Well, let me do the. Oh, okay. Well, the packaging, the collection.
Yes.
I'm a Trower fan. This is easily a 9.5. And the reason why I won't give it a 10, and I've said this over and over again, if it's something new that I just got, I got to live with it a while. I'm very stingy on tens. For me, an album has to be a 10 that I live with for a while, like, Back in Black,
Right.
Highway to Hell, Ace Frehley's solo album, UFO Lights Out, Obsession, Desolation Boulevard. They have to live with me for a while. Oh, Bridge of Sighs is a 10. Okay.
Right.
I would also rank the concert a 9.5. And again, it probably will be a 10 someday for me. Um, yeah, it's I'm not gonna say flawless because there's a lot of flaws in it, but I like it for its flaws. But it's fantastic. It's just really that good.
I feel the same way. I don't need my live albums to be perfect. I just need them to feel live.
Right.
And that is
Oh, yeah.
absolutely here.
And there's just so much energy. It's just incredible.
Really.
Trower has all these bands. The bar's set really high. He always plays at a certain high level. It's just great to see him playing at the high level with that classic band with Dewar and Lorden. That's great. Yes, there's also great live recordings with Davey Pattison and all those people that play with him. But it's just great to see that that there's something even better than this in this form that's out there. And there's other things, there's a lot of like things out there you'll get they're playing in the studio, they're playing at a radio station. There's this stuff out there that's been released to varying degrees of fidelity and completeness, but this is really good. It's all right here. It's all right there.
I'm with you, Nick. 9.5 for this collection and 9.5 for the live album.
Oh yeah.
And I agree as much as I love this.
Yeah.
Yeah. The live disc that we have from here, it deems it unnecessary. The versions on here, I think, are stronger. My
Mhm.
own, my only thing was just there's a deeper bottom end
Yeah.
on the original live album. But I mean, that's just make you want to say nitpicking, okay. But yeah, fantastic album. This is
Yeah.
9.5. This is Robin Trower for Earth Below, the 50th anniversary edition. If you can get your hands on this bad boy, do yourself a favor and definitely pick it up. And the album we were talking about from this collection was Disc 4, live at the Shrine Auditorium and Expo Hall, Los Angeles, California, March 16, 1975. Nick, thank you so much for joining me today and for suggesting this album, because we were talking about this when it came out.
You suggested it, actually. You did.
I
think
did.
maybe I suggested talking about this, but no, you suggested the live. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a
Oh,
good idea.
wait, maybe I did.
You
Oh,
did, no, because I hadn't really heard it that much yet, and you were like,
okay.
oh, you got to hear it. You were telling me about it, so
Okay. Maybe.
congratulations to you. Because I
Okay.
was, I have so much stuff I'm still trying to like. I always try to wade through, and I heard it, but I really stopped and listened to it. It's like, oh my God, what am I almost missed this. So
Uh, I think it was the fact that you picked the album up a little earlier than I did.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And you're
yeah.
like, you gotta get this. And then
Yeah,
maybe
that
I got
that's what
that
it
mixed
was.
in. I got that mixed up.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
Suggested. Okay. So everyone out there, thank you all so much for joining us. What do you think of Robin Trower's music? Have you picked up this collection? And if you have this collection, what do you think of it? Do you have the original for Earth Below on vinyl from 75? Do you have it on CD? What are your favorite Robin Trower albums? What are your favorite songs by Robin Trower? Have you seen him live? Did you see him live back in 74 and 75 when me and Nick were very, very young? Have you seen him live recently like Nick and I have? Please let us know in the comments below what you think of this fantastic collection and this fantastic guitar player that's still making great music today and still kicking ass live. Nick, what do you have going on YouTube? Whether it's the
Uh,
Contrarians, Grant's Rock Warehouse, what's
the
going?
only thing I know that's coming up is I was drafted to go on the slogan the slogan telethon or
Rock and
whatever.
Metal
Yeah,
Extravaganza.
we're gonna talk a little Rory Gallagher. So I'm describing. I'll probably be on with them this. I'll be on with them this Saturday. So this probably won't post, but I've been
Oh no,
describing.
this will be out Saturday. I'm putting it out
Oh,
Saturday, 12 noon.
oh,
Oh,
12
wait,
noon. Well, it could be a Nick S Squire marathon because we go on at 3.
actually, you know what? I apologize, Nick. This
That's all
isn't
right.
going to be on this Saturday.
Oh, good. Wait, yeah.
It's going to be on next Saturday, which will be October 25th. October
Perfect.
18 is going to be the show that Tim Derling and I did on White Snake.
Oh, good.
My
Well,
bad.
I'm looking forward to it with those guys. It's going to be quite a large panel, and I've been describing it to myself as the slogan telethon because man, those guys go. They can go.
They really can go.
They can go. So, and just like a real telethon, like I could watch it, but I've never like watched it all the way through. I got like shit to do. So that's what they're in for when they deal with me. So I'm gonna anyway.
I'm
No,
looking
I'm looking
forward
forward
to
to it.
checking it out. What time's that on? Like 3 o'clock?
Uh, I think it's at 3, if I'm not mistaken, on Saturday. So yeah, and I don't know. I have probably there's more Mott the Hoople related stuff with Grant. We're trying to get days figured out maybe later this month. I have to find out. We're all the way up to maybe doing the 30th anniversary of the live album, and then also we're up to doing British Lions. So
Oh, nice.
the first British Lions album that I forgot about. I mean, I have it, but it's good. It's good. It's good. It's interesting. It's of its time, but it's good. It's a good album actually. So that's what's going on. That and I'm still working on some music behind the scenes. When it's ready, I'll let you know. You'll be one of the first to know to beta test some stuff, but it's slowly but surely getting there. So it's very exciting, and I'm very proud of what I'm working on with others. So it's good.
Awesome. I'm really looking forward to hearing that. No doubt about it.
Mhm.
Thank you all so much for joining us today. Do what you love, and we'll talk to you soon.